Seasons in Shipwrecked are interesting, because to be honest, the only two that really pose any threat or even an annoyance of any sort are monsoon and dry seasons. Mild season is just all about playing how one would in Reign of Giants or Don't Starve together while simply dealing with having to navigate the high seas instead of just walking everywhere. And you can learn how to do that by watching any of these videos you see before you. And hurricane season is literally negated by a lightning rod, a hat, and a wall. But that being said, there are just tidbits I can give you to make those 20 days until hurricane season a bit easier on you, and that's really what this video will be. Just little pieces of advice strung together. Number one is, be smart on spawn islands. Spawn islands can absolutely screw you over resource-wise, so before making an axe of any sort, check for additional flint or boulders. Otherwise, just begin gathering of wood, bamboo, grass, twigs, and vines, as they will always be what you need to start with. And again, play like you know what you're doing by always thinking ahead. Cause sooner rather than later, it's gonna be time to venture out into the unknown. And Shipwreck makes discovery very fun due to the lack of connectivity of land masses, but this very same fact also brings with it challenge, as you may go days without finding what you actually need. And what we need is gold. Quick tip though, aqua green water means shallow oceans, and shallow oceans means land, and land means potential, so please, always check potential islands, cause you very well may stumble upon said gold, be it among a few boulders within the jungle biomes, or on a magma field island as seen here. It doesn't matter. Gold is just something you must get ASAP. Because not only will we use it to gain immediate access to new crafts like the backpack for some more helpful storage, but we will want a shovel as soon as possible too. Because with one, we can begin building base in our minds without even really knowing where we're basing yet. Furthermore, I implore you to work straight towards an alchemy engine in order to access whatever other crafts you may prefer, but specifically for an armored boat and cloth sail combination. A rowboat and thatch sail combo via a science machine is totally fine, if you happen to struggle to find enough rocks and gold, that is. But if you can manage the investment, do it. No questions asked. And besides, you can just hammer your science stations anyway. Now, we'll have no more burning forearms from all that rowing, as the wind will guide us quickly to our dreams. But what exactly are those dreams at this point? Simple. We wish to remain nomadic and prepare for base. Shovel in hand, you are no longer just picking resources, but rather digging up grass tufts of the beaches or meadows, saplings of the beaches and beaches alone, really, and most importantly, whatever berry bush you happen to find. Cause I swear to you, you either see bushes everywhere, or it seems like they don't even exist. But you must get the ones you see to solve early to mid and even late game food emergencies in the first frickin' days of the year. And once more, play as we've discussed within Reign of Giants or DST, as that hasn't changed. Resource management and gathering hasn't changed. It's just the time between has potentially, due to the need for island hopping. But you know how to do this, so just do it once you manage your first gold of the world. And it doesn't need to be by day 5 to 6 either. However, before we discuss some final gathering tips, I want to touch on emergency food sources again quickly. If you're struggling to find food, your answer lies in the sea. Always. Jellyfish are your lifeblood in the early game, mid game, late game. Cooked or not, so much on them as you go along and you'll be A-okay, I promise you. The health they zap away comes right on back in full upon biting them. Now, some final things to consider. Becoming an arson and burning a jungle down isn't just a typical Saturday for us human beings, but doing so also leads to charcoal gathering, which will be used in a variety of crafts for base here very soon, so get to it. And whether you've managed to locate the wooden platform thing or are many days in following a murder on the ocean, killing a floaty boaty will drop gears, and them too will help ease some base woes. But this one is purely random, and each world and player is gonna experience something different. So just get a gear whenever you can. Now, basing in Shipwrecked, what is the deal? Well, like any of the other Don't Starve experiences, you really can't just base anywhere you like as long as you've managed to gather properly. But Shipwrecked is really all about proximity. Problem is that Shipwrecked is also notorious for crappy world generations regarding the proximity of important locations, mobs, and such. So yeah, that might be an issue. Although this is true, I do have some tips for you. Number one is basing near mangrove biomes, or at least by nearby islands that have one. This should be no surprise, as wet beefs are just beefs that we already know and hate. So, use them for poop and protection as you see fit. Just don't be stupid come their mating seasons, as you know from regular beefaloes, and you should be able to handle the rest. Second, the hopes and dreams of the tidal marsh biomes, but more specifically, the hope for fishermerms. Sadly, it is possible not a single fishermerm hut spawns in a world, but if one does and you locate it throughout your continued nomadicness, you've just found a source of constant food forever. Specifically though, tropical fish. Because as long as nothing bothers them, they'll remain non-hostile and will just fish tropical fish from tidal pools for you over and over and over again. They won't get angry or nothing, so just take them. But Beard, what about the octopus? Shouldn't we factor him in with our base location? Nope, not necessarily. Come on, folks, we've covered him already. We know what he gives, and even though it is some good stuff, it ain't stuff you're gonna need constantly, nor is it stuff that you yourself can't already craft now and then. It's fine. Just take trips to him in bulk when you feel the need to. But Beard, what about the slot machine? My gambling addict? I just want to play one spin is all, so shouldn't I base around it to protect it with my life? No. Once again, we've covered it, and we know the drill. Just take trips to it every now and then, you nut jobs. But maybe one more spin will do, yes? Or 9 more. Yup, 9 more will do. And no one could stop me. But the seaworthy. There's an interesting proposition, depending on where it is, of course. If you happen to find it too, of course. Constructing a base, even a temporary base, around it is almost genius. Cover all your needs here in Shipwrecked, but hop the Reign of Giants to help ease the potential resource trouble or seasonal difficulties when needed. It's almost perfect, actually. Especially if you just build a Skyworthy eventually and place it anywhere you want anyway to boot. But regarding base layout itself, however, should be second nature at this point. But go ahead and build wherever you are most comfortable by planting your abundant twig supply for self-sustainment, making and maintaining your grass farm as to be the supplier around these parts, arrange your berry bush goodness and get to fertilizing them, build some crock pots and drying racks with that charcoal we've gotten, and maybe have a fridge on the way if you don't have one already, and perhaps go for a couple farms as well. It's your base. Make it your own, but do not ignore the advice given. I do not mean to tell you how to play, but I'm kinda telling you how to play. At least for the humble beginnings. Just a few more things, folks. Things you can do or can choose not to do within your time in mild season, or better yet, after base construction. Number 1 is catching a parrot on jungle turf. Why? Well, cause they'll be gone very soon, but then again, you'll have access to Tier 1 magic crafts before the second season begins. Or heck, you may be even to reach Shadow Manipulator levels, but I highly doubt that. However, more potential is always a good thing. As we've discussed it many frickin' times, trawl netting in mild season can and will net the items you see before you here. Although some may look quite enticing, I would refrain from doing anything extra like trawl netting until you're certain you're situated with base and your survival needs. And mild season is a pretty great time to hunt yourself a squid dinner for 700, as there's no elements to combat, Nothing extra like, say, a spinning seal of death that will be coming at us soon? Or will you encounter really any downsides to it, honestly? And I mean, just kill the beast and be rewarded with nothing but fantastic stuff every time. And you can do this super early, so kill the Kraken ASAP if you're up to it. So, base is covered, self-sustainment is underway, resource management continues to be an ongoing process, and you're getting more and more familiar with your world here. Good stuff. That's mild season, everyone. Sure, you'll have crocodile waves, but probably only one or two, and they'll be small, and they'll be normal variants, so no biggie there. You'll have rain and wind briefly, and it will be nothing to what's coming, so don't worry. And you may have some leftover time, and there is absolutely never anything wrong there. In fact, if you've already gotten a lightning rod up and wetness clothing is in the works, then you are golden. We're just saving these talks for the very beginning of hurricane season. In short, mild season is all about using your time wisely, potentially locating points of interest, especially the volcano, and getting halfway settled by day 19. Do not overburden yourselves. Just do the basics. Shipwreck's mechanics are intimidating until they're not, and we'll be eliminating almost all of them practically come the end of the next season, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, everyone. Feel free to ask any further questions below. Well wishes and good fortune to you out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.